And we continue at 2:05 in the afternoon on the John Phillips Show. Mr. Randy Wangs in Culver City.
John, thanks to our incredible listeners, they helped me track down the moment a few weeks ago when you completely lost it. And what do you know? It was when we replayed that Katie Porter, Eitan Wallace interview.
All right, let's carve some pumpkins.
Careful, I have the knives.
Oh!
Is that the real Katie Porter?
I do have to admit, I forgot how great that was.
I remember it happened, but I kind of blocked out of what it was. And of course, it had something to do with that Katie Porter interview in the kitchen with the exercise bike.
Oh!
At some point before the election, we have to replay that.
Oh, we will. And the phone call from the guy in Valencia.
Boy, I love Christmas, don't you? 800-222-5222 is the telephone number, 1-800-222-5222. It is our pleasure to welcome our next guest to the program, who is one of my favorite people on the planet. You see her on cable news all the time. She and I used to work together, of course, over at CNN back in 2016, 2017. You can follow her on X at Socttie N. Hughes. Socttie Nell Hughes, welcome.
Johnny, I think I could listen to you laughing, and I don't know whatever the reason would be that caused you to laugh. You just need to put your laugh on a loop and play it for people when they're in a bad mood. Maybe even Congress. Maybe that's what would fix all the problems in the U.S. Congress right now, is just playing Johnny Phillips' laugh on a loop over a loudspeaker.
Okay, so to put this in context, that report was a profile on Katie Porter for a television station in Sacramento, where she brought the reporter into her house for just a day in the life. And when the reporter came in the house, the first thing that happens is she revealed that the daughter carries around a whiteboard with her too. Only she lists her favorite Taylor Swift songs on the whiteboard instead of haranguing CEOs. And then she took the reporter into the kitchen where she claims she keeps an exercise bike so she can exercise while she's cooking dinner. And then she wants her son to come down so they can carve pumpkins together, and she screams his name out at the top of her lungs from downstairs.
Paul!
So, can I ask, Johnny, what sort of idiotic campaign consultant told her this was going to be a good idea? Like, who would go into a household like this, look around and say, oh, yes, I think that the voters getting to see how you interact at home is exactly what's going to win us this election?
Well, especially when everything's staged. Who believes that she has an exercise bike in the kitchen?
It's physically impossible to cook on an exercise bike. I mean, I don't think I can even make a peanut butter and jelly on an exercise bike in my kitchen. Could you imagine trying to make eggs or a pancake? Meatloaf, maybe? It's physically impossible to do, especially if it's Peloton, because you can't do anything except focus on Peloton.
Well, maybe it's like Gilligan's Island, and that's the energy that's produced to beat the eggs.
Maybe, but I have to ask you, Johnny, and this is coming from someone out here in Tennessee, what is going on? There's a history of crazy people the Democrats put on the ballot, but I have to say, we thought we had a doozy a few weeks ago here in Tennessee with the woman who said that she hated country music and everything about Nashville, like our pedal taverns. But that didn't seem to really bother Democrats. They still put millions behind her. Now you've got your Katie, I'm going to call her your Katie out in California. When are Democrats going to actually care about the quality of candidate that they put on the ballot?
Well, with her, it's an interesting story because they all hate her. But because she became a phenom on cable news, haranguing executives that would testify before Congress, she raises her money from little old ladies that watch MSNBC late at night and get all ginned up over the news. And then when they see her being nasty to someone they don't like, they send her $25. And she has a lot of people who are doing that. Nancy Pelosi hates her. Many people who are regarded as power brokers within the Democratic Party here hate her, but they don't have any control over her because they can't cut off her money, because her money's not coming from the teachers' unions or the environmentalists or the usual suspects that they have control over. It's coming from people, many of whom don't even live in California, who are sitting in their easy chair watching her late at night on Rachel Maddow and sending her money on her website.
And yet, California does this over and over and over again. I mean, the land of Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi, finally we're getting rid of her. I mean, California seems to produce these freak shows that are made into mainstream political candidates. And I get it. Trust me, we have a lot of characters right now on the Republican side. We could go. I could talk for hours about Kash Patel instead of looking out for the Epstein files or looking for the bomber or the shooter is doing podcast interviews with his country music star wannabe girlfriend. I could go for hours about the cast of characters that we have on our side. But the key is ours have been more of a recent cast of characters outside of do you remember the man that used to like that liked Dr. Pepper and sucking women's toes? He was a Republican.
That's quite a combination.
I think he liked to do it at the same time. That's a whole other fetish. But
are the toes how he mixes the whiskey in?
Maybe. I didn't know about whiskey in it, but there had to be whiskey in it, I guess. What was his name? I will remember it. He was really big, but once that came out, people kind of just stayed away from him. I mean, the Republicans, when we find out some of that stuff, we do a really good job of pushing the side. At least I think so. Democrats go, okay, let's we'll keep going with this one. This is kind of where our chair's already hitched to, so we got to continue moving forward with it. And I think that is, on one hand, I got to give Democrats credit. They still unite behind them. They still unify and rally around that one cast character that looks like they should be out of Cirque du Soleil, not on the ballot for the voters to vote on. And Republicans, we tear each other apart and destroy each other. But I just have to give Democrats, they look like they should be up for the odd couple awards rather than the next, governor of the state of Carolina or of California.
So here's my theory on this, because I think this is something that's changing in politics, and it might not be changing in both parties at the same rate, but I think it's certainly being pushed in this direction all across the board. And that is, in the old days, when you needed money to run for office, you went to certain places. If you were a Republican, you went to the oil companies. You went to the business lobby. You went to the farmers.
Tobacco.
You went to tobacco. You went to certain industries that tended to support Republicans, and you had to color inside the lines because they expected something in return for their contributions. You couldn't accept money from the oil companies and then decide that you're going to be Greta Thunberg. You had to vote with them. Otherwise, they would move on to someone else. On the Democratic side, the same thing was true, where they accepted money from the teachers' unions and the trial lawyers and the environmentalists and those people, and they were expected to vote with them as well. But what's gone on is, because of technology and because of social media, and you and I working together in cable news, we certainly saw it with political figures who would appear on cable channels, and they develop these followings where you say something that goes viral, or something happens that not only gets played on that particular show, but gets played on shows all over. They take your clip on Fox and say, look at what this Democrat said on MSNBC. Let's do a segment on that over here. And one segment gets you a lot of mileage. And you have people that love you and you have people that hate you. And the people that love you send you money. So the money that's coming into these politicians' accounts is now decentralized. Instead of coming from tobacco and oil and businessmen and those sorts of places. It now comes from people who just want you to keep going. And I think that it now rewards the loudest voice in the room. A clear example of that, to me at least, is what's going on right now in Texas, where the Democratic Party is looking at the Republican primary and they're seeing a Republican primary that's in complete disarray, where there's an incumbent who's running, who's more of a Bush-style Republican, and you have two more conservative candidates who are challenging him. And that's really a three-horse race in that primary. And if you have an incumbent that looks like they could lose their own primary, that's not usually a good sign for the general election. That's giving the other side an opportunity to win that seat, even in a tough state like Texas. And the Democrats want an electable candidate who can then move into that November ballot and say, okay, they're chaotic. I'm someone who's got my head screwed on straight. Even though you may not agree with me on any number of issues, go with me because I'm the sane one. Instead of that, they're going to get Jasmine Crockett. And they're, I think, going to be stuck with her in part because she has universal name ID. And I was looking at the list of the fundraisers in Congress. She's in the top 10. She's right up there with the Speaker of the House, the Minority Leader, all of the people in top leadership positions. She is right there with them because Democrats in their easy chairs see her do something that goes viral, and boy, those $25 donations just roll in.
No, you're exactly right. And that's the thing is that, I'll say this from a Republican standpoint, on one hand, and Marjorie Taylor Greene used to be guilty of this. Those that make a big stir, those that attract attention, they do raise a certain amount of funds amongst a certain group. But for Republicans, it gets old. And there's only a few of them that we can identify, Looney Loomer, and Luna used to be somewhat in that category. But, like I said, we identify those folks and real quickly, and they don't last too long. They usually get pushed out. Democrats, however, and I think a great example of this is who we used to have, and once again, I guess it's the names that are slipping me. We used to have a congresswoman down in Texas that she was in there forever, and she was absolutely wild. In fact, she used to drive our mutual friend Michael Berry completely crazy. She would wear those big hats, and she would and she was in there forever until she actually passed away in office. So Democrats see this, they seize upon it. And they like the attention these folks give. And they end up getting nightly spots on MSNBC or MSN Now and CNN and ABC News. They want those flamethrowers. They want those attention getters for some reason, not realizing that it makes them look absolutely ludicrous. And I think this is where I am seeing Alexandria Cortez becoming even more dangerous because, as you've noticed, she has toned down her rhetoric. She was in that flame-throwing category. And I think she's realizing that while she's not changing her beliefs at any level, she's realizing that she has to get those independents and she has to bring them over. And she's not going to do it if she's going to seem in any way temperamental, just doing publicity stunts. And this is where I think some might call it maturity. I call it some version of narcissism, where she's so much wrapped up in herself that she is going to change her personality because she knows that's the way she's going to get elected, just by the way that she presents herself. That's when we as Republicans should get scared, because her message is very, very much amongst Democrat young women are very much unifying, even young men. They're very much attracted to her. And if she would just tone it down, then she could get the middle-aged and the older boomers to be attracted to her. And then we might end up with our first president being AOC. Lord, help us pack your bags. Now, Johnny, we're going to go live on a cruise forever if that happens.
Well,
but we got to recognize that.
For half of these people, too, and it happens on both sides, because I could identify at least two names right now, one on each side, where it's true. Where I look at them and I think their motivation is not even to win election. I think their motivation is to create so much noise that they become a cable news personality, whether it be a host or an analyst. Like, you look at Jasmine Crockett now and you say, okay, she's running for Senate in Texas. She's probably not going to win because she's too out there for most states. And if she's too out there for most states, she's definitely too out there for Texas. But she could be a primetime host on MSNBC. She could have a podcast that does really well and generates a lot of money. I could easily see that happening. And I think that that may even be the prize that she's playing for, knowing that it's highly unlikely that she's going to win the election. The same, I think, is true for Marjorie Taylor Greene, where you see her on The View and you see her on CNN and you see her on all of these programs that Republicans typically don't go on. And I think that she's making a play to be the next Adam Kinzinger.
So here's the thing, and let me just call balls and strikes on this, Johnny. And I know that I might be going off a little bit what supposedly the narrative is supposed to be, but you're okay with that. We can't sit there and point fingers for Democrats doing that when you're looking at an entire administration of secretaries of very important positions that have very little experience, like the Secretary of Transportation maybe drove a car, but he hosted a show on a major news network. All of them hosted shows on major news networks. They made appearances, and that was one of their qualifying characteristics, which got them their job. Hence why they've done more press conferences than actually produced results, and why I think Republicans are in the position they're in going into the midterms right now is because we've had a lot of talk, a lot of press conferences, a lot of Botox, and very little action, very little results and deliverance on what President Trump got elected for. I think that's changing, but I'm hoping it's not too late. But that's when you put pretty people in powerful positions and they don't really have the qualifications to be there, except they just read off a teleprompter about a story that was reflected in the cabinet they now are in charge of. Not bitter, I promise. But I really think that President Trump has some changes that he has to make. It's imperative that he makes at the beginning of the year. There are some simple things he has to qualify and do in order to keep us from getting in trouble.
It's amazing to me how the grass is always greener. How you have people in Congress who are angling and scheming to become cable personalities. And then you had the cable personalities who were angling and scheming to become electeds or appointeds.
Johnny, that's an excellent point. In fact, I have not heard anybody make that point. You hit the nail on the head. They always think the other side is better than the other one is. And unfortunately, what you end up getting into is this hamster race of the same echo chamber, while the rest of us Americans out here going, no. Yes, sure, my eggs might be cheaper, but I'm still paying more for the grocery store because the packages have gone through shrinkflation, and I'm getting less groceries for a higher dollar amount or the same dollar amount. So, yes, I'm actually not getting the same amount. Our credit card crisis right now, and with most Americans, it's through the roof. And it's mainly because the past 4 years we put these bandages on our credit cards, and now the bills are being called due. Go down your list, the high mortgage rates, everything right now that is coming that Trump's having to deal with. He needs people that actually know how to deal with it and not give a press conference or write a press release about it. Same thing, though, for Congress. I do think Congress right now also should be doing something. That's my favorite part. You're looking at everything about health care right now. The reason why the Republicans are having such a headache with it is because they didn't do their diligence the last 6 months about it. This should not be a conversation we're having a week before Christmas and 2 weeks before these subsidies expire. I cannot scream this enough, Johnny, and I know you're probably blessed to have great insurance, but a lot, especially small business owners, middle class, who are on these exchanges because that's what we were told we had to go on to. We didn't want to, but we were forced onto it, are literally facing, my bill is going up from $200 for 4 people to $3,200 due on January 1st. As a middle class family, we cannot afford that. And Republicans have done nothing. So all of these ones that want to go and be, yes, I guess maybe it would be nice to read a teleprompter with a handwritten editor that told you exactly what to say, because you guys can't say anything without it, obviously, or do anything about it, about the real issues facing Americans.
All right. We're going to have to leave it there. Socttie Nell Hughes. You can follow her on X at Socttie N. Hughes. Have a very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. We'll chat again real soon.
Merry Christmas, Johnny.
Hey, Randy, we have a call.
Let's go quickly to Brent in Campbell. Brent, hello.
Hey there. Good to talk to you guys. Hey, I was tuned in late on the drops, but I had to throw in get out of my bike lane guy. I mean, just the pipes on that guy should have got him a good nomination.
I think you're right. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the pipes of Katie Porter.
Get out of my shop.
If you'd like to email the show, you can do so at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. That's johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. And we're not even going to try to go to the mailbag the rest of the show because it's overwhelming.
Let me just see if I can even see where the mail started today. Oh, wow. Keeps going. Oh, wow. Keeps going. Oh, wow. Keeps going. It's like 200 messages in the last 2 hours.
We're usually pretty good about reading everything and responding to a good chunk of them, but it may take a little while to go through this.
You'll have 2 weeks to do it.
And, of course, you'll also have 2 weeks to listen to the podcast edition of this program.
Yeah, because we're not going to be here. But, hey, we've got 6 years of this noon to 3 show that you can enjoy. Johnny, this is the 6th year we've done this time slot. And for you KSFO people, you've only heard us for about 7 or 8 months, and we appreciate that. So if there's anything you missed out on, you can go to the John Phillips Show wherever you get your podcasts. That could be the Apple Podcasts app, iHeart, Spotify. Search for the John Phillips Show. Hit subscribe. You can download all the episodes. You know what you got to do? If you're in the Bay, maybe you work in Oakland, maybe you live in Oakland. We weren't live in 2023 on KSFO. In fact, I don't even know if we were on tape at that point. I think we didn't start that until the beginning of 2024. And so when we discovered Shangy, and I like to think that we really discovered her, in the middle of 2023, go download shows from then because it was a special time.
The bureaucracy is real.
Many of the drops that you hear and enjoy on a regular basis happened before we were on the air in the Bay Area.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I want to see what happens because I'm on the podcast page right now. What happens if I just type in the word Shang? Well, I'll just put Shang. Let's just see what happens. Shang Tao gets indicted from January 2017, 2025. The Shang Tao saga continues April 24th, 2025. The Bonta Dong Shang Connection, November 2025. A Shang Tao rally like no other, October 7, 2024. Brenda Harbin Forte wants to recall Shang Tao 2024. As the Shang turns, June 26, 2024. That's right around the raid. Shang Tao never disappoints, June 12, 2024. But you keep going. State of the Shang. Absolutely, absolutely. October 16th, 2024. Okay, we talk about her quite a bit, and it was really heartbreaking when that recall actually passed. There is a lot of Shangy content going all the way back to 2023 and obviously 2024, so enjoy yourself.
If you're in the Bay Area and you weren't listening back then and you have a case of the SADS because we're not producing new content, do yourself a favor and go back and listen to the past Shang episodes.
You know what? Go through that whole debacle where she was trying to sell the Coliseum.
And we still got our Oakland A's, baby.
No, you don't.
In the meantime, what do you say we make a couple of listeners very happy?
Here we go. Last giveaway of the year for this show. I still have a giveaway on the 5 o'clock show on KABC. 790 KABC welcomes Missing Persons and Stacy Q to the Canyon in Agora Hills. Can we give away some stuff for KSFO next year? Come on already. This is Missing Persons and Stacy Q at the Canyon in Agora Hills, December 27th. Tickets on sale now at AXS.com. But right now, caller number 9 at 1-888-795-2222 gets a pair of tickets to the show. Tickets furnished by the Canyon, where music meets the soul. Good luck dialing.
All right. On the subject of Oakland, Randy, we have an update.
There has been some controversy at the Oakland City Council meeting where Ken Houston was caught flipping off somebody. And he was asked about it, and he did not deny it. This is an explosive one. For more, we go to KPIX in the Bay.
Tonight, an Oakland City Council member is catching heat for his brash behavior. Ken Houston, who represents District 9, got testy with a colleague at last night's council meeting and was even accused of giving the middle finger during public comment.
Not the first time someone's done that.
Well, subtle he's not.
Our Katie Nilsson talked to Houston today, who is not apologizing.
Seated in real time. So what I'd like to know is so I wanted to finish, because if they can come out deep, we can come out deep too. And I wanted to find out which. Let me finish what I'm saying. Shut up.
Out of order. That's your first warning.
This interaction with Oakland City Council President.
The actual members of the city council in Oakland sound like the public comment section at LA City Council.
That's what I thought it was at first.
No, that was two members of the council, including Ken Houston.
This interaction with.
Which, you know who doesn't like Ken Houston? Pammy Price.
She called me a crime boss.
This interaction with Oakland City Council President Kevin Jenkins last night is part of the reason why Councilmember Ken Houston is facing criticism today. But words aren't the only reason he's under fire. He was caught on camera apparently giving the middle finger. At one point, a speaker during public comment even called him out.
Want to give a big shout out to Ken Houston. Do you think we didn't notice you flipping off the audience from your seat just now?
What do you do if you're Ken and you get called out by someone? No, that wasn't me. That was Ken Galveston.
Did you intentionally flip someone off during the council meeting?
Not on purpose. But now that it's done, yeah, I did.
Well, unfortunately for him, he's too late to be considered for drop of the year.
I'm sure Ken Houston will be appearing in 2026.
Not on purpose. But now that it's done, yeah, I did. Because I'm always like this, and this dude was, and I'm like, he filming me? Okay, whatever. Whatever.
Houston was referring to the clip posted to X, formerly Twitter, by a blogger who goes by the name Oakland Observer. Houston says people who live in his district elected him specifically because of his confrontational style.
The people that voted me in office voted me to be who I am, and that's what I'm going to be. And if they don't like it, recall me, because I don't give a rip.
Randy?
That's right. I like that. That was amazing.
A star is born.
Ken Houston, early frontrunner for 2026.
Recall me, because I don't give a rip.
He says he has no reason to apologize for anything that happened during the meeting last night because he says the criticism he's facing isn't coming from within his district.
They are not my constituents. I don't care what they say. I don't give a rip what they say.
I didn't know that was a phrase, but he has used it multiple times.
Well, I think he's doing it because every other variation of that statement is a curse word.
I don't give a rip. Yeah, that sounds clean.
I'm not a politician, and I'm not going to let people talk down to me or talk to me like I'm nothing, because if they could say F me, I'm going to say F you too.
Boy, Oakland never disappoints, does it?
Councilmember Carol Fife says she's known Houston for more than 20 years and talked with him as recently as last week about the level of professionalism needed for the office.
It's mirroring what's happening at the federal level.
Oh, stop it, Carol.
So she's going to blame Donald Trump.
Isn't she the defund the police one on the council?
Oh, she is. She's awful.
With the level of discourse. And I don't think we should engage in that way. I don't want to see Trump-style conversation tactics seep into Oakland.
She says while she genuinely...
You been to Oakland?
So she's trying to say that Oakland maintained a good reputation until all of their politicians copied Donald Trump.
Who else do we go call Superman? It's Wild Wild West out here.
She says while she genuinely believes Houston wants what's best for the city, she worries his behavior is a distraction.
It's unfortunate that this is the topic of discussion and not how Oakland is growing.
But Houston says...
Well, it's not.
No, but that's what they put out in the press releases, so they expect the news to print it.
Is Barbara Lee still mayor? No one's heard from her in quite some time.
Babs,
quite frankly,
what are you up to?
But Houston says his unorthodox style is what allowed him to get so much done during his first year in office. And he even posted the video of this confrontation to his Instagram page.
See, he takes this exchange as a badge of honor.
Oh, he loves it.
We got people out here in Portland trying to tell us in East Oakland what to do. They better get out of my face.
Oh, Oakland never change.
We got people out here in Portland trying to tell us in East Oakland what to do. They better get out of my face. I tell you that. No, I'm just letting you know. You in the wrong place. Get with me.
You're a council member. I don't give a come up to you.
You're a council member. I don't give a bleep.
Well, I guess he changed rip at a certain point.
Well, this was captured in the confrontation with Portland protesters who are in Oakland for reasons.
You're a council member. I don't give a come up to you and challenge you because you're a elected official.
You're not just going to bully me and think I'm going to, oh, you're a politician. You're supposed to accept that. No, I'm not. And if they don't like me, recall me. Recall me if they don't like it, because my community is not going to allow it to happen. That's all what I'm saying.
Shengi, how do you feel about all this recall talk?
That's right. I like that. That was amazing.
No, I think she has PTSD.
We reached out to the city of Oakland to ask if there were any complaints made about Houston after last night's meeting. They said
no.
No, it's business as usual up there.
There you go. Ken Houston. Can't wait for you to make the wall in 2026.
We should try to get him on the show.
We should. All right. First week of January, Ken. Keep that calendar open.
And Randy, we have a call to go to.
Let's go to Brad in Newport Beach. Brad, hello.
Am I caller number 9?
You are not.
That was a try.
We'll have another giveaway next time.
I know. Let me turn off the TV here.
We got time. We're almost out of here.
Sorry. This is a runner-up maybe of, I think it's this year, or maybe it was last year. It was when you guys were messing around with the AI and the British Queen accent, and there was a councilman that you, I think, put in his description of something, and I don't know. I don't know if you remember that or not.
Oh, well, we have used the Queen for many, many, many things, including Ricardo Lara.
I may be criticized and dragged through the mud for it and get my wig snatched, as the gay guys say.
That's it.
Was that it?
I had to pull over and laugh uncontrollably when I first heard that. It was.
It's a good one.
But
you should have heard Philip's reaction.
More often. Huh?
You should have heard Philip's reaction.
Well, hey, you guys are great. It's just the best thing on radio listening to you guys. It's with everything else going on. Thank you.
Thank you for the call, Sarah. All right, Randy, I think we have time for one more addition to the California Crime Blotter.
If the cashier is dummy.
I know.
We couldn't make this stuff up if we tried.
I said, hell no, baby boy. Let me get up on out of here.
It's the California Crime Blotter.
And this edition takes us to the city by the bay.
In San Francisco, an incredibly drunk woman got violently carried out of a restaurant after she got a little rowdy. For more, here's NBC in the Bay.
A 3.5-minute video that was posted on TikTok and then reposted repeatedly across multiple social media sites documents the altercation between Shireen Afkari and several staff and bystanders at Hazy's restaurant this weekend.
All right, what do you think her drink was?
Rombauer Chardonnay.
That's very specific.
Yeah.
In the video, you can see Afkari going behind the bar, holding up her phone to capture her own video and yelling expletives at staff.
She seems like a nice person.
You know that you're in the wrong when you're filming yourself cursing out the staff.
Michael Marchesi says he and his colleagues were trying to defuse the situation and document it, but the woman wouldn't stop.
She was quite enraged. You know, a lot of people were like, oh, she was on the verge of leaving. She wasn't. She ended up slapping one of the bussers, I believe.
She slapped a busser?
How did this not happen on Spirit Airlines?
Here's the moment she slapped the phone out of a staff member's hand. From a different angle, you can see her struggle with him over the phone.
Can you imagine being a fly on the wall where there's like 200 people in this very busy San Francisco restaurant and they've all got their phones out and they have every possible angle of this drunk woman?
Can you imagine being her dining companion?
And then she seemingly goes at another off-duty employee who drops Afkari to the floor. But it didn't end there. As the video continues, you see Marchesi having to forcibly remove the woman from the restaurant, while others remove the man who was with her. With police on their way, the situation still didn't end.
Wait, the story's not over.
She's lucky at this point they didn't drown her in the lobster tank.
The woman is seen grabbing Marchesi's hair and refuses to let it go.
I needed to give her an incentive to let me go, so I grabbed her phone and, yeah, I chucked it across the street, hoping she would run after it.
Well, that's an interesting way of solving the problem. Take her phone and throw it into oncoming traffic.
So it's his job to get her out of the restaurant. He gets her out of the restaurant. She starts pulling his hair, and he figures the only way I'm getting out of this death grip is to chuck her iPhone in the middle of the street.
Now, if that were me, I don't know if I'd get physical. I would have handled it a little bit differently. I would have gone up to her. I would have tried to talk some sense into her. I would say, lady, you are too drunk to be in this restaurant. It's time for you to go home and clean your guns.
Instead, Afkari ran after him, and in the video you can see him respond, tripping her. That's when he headed back into the restaurant.
God.
It sounds like a wrestling match.
He beat the living hell out of her.
Spirit of Cena lives on with this guy.
That's when he headed back into the restaurant trying to get away from the situation. I talked with the manager who was on duty when this all happened. He didn't want to speak on camera, but he did tell me that he's the one who actually cut off the couple because he realized they had already had way too much alcohol before they walked into the restaurant.
Well, he should have had the busboy give her the perfect plex, too.
And he says staff handled things the best they possibly could. They say that
they cut them off before they ordered one thing here because they were already loaded.
Big elbow off the top rope.
They say that's what set Afkari off in the first place.
Yeah, the one thing that'll piss off a drunk person, telling them that you can't get any drunker.
Oh, have you ever seen that happen on an airplane before?
I haven't seen it on an airplane, but I once had to forcibly stop a friend from trying to keep entering a bar after he was way too drunk in Healdsburg. You ever been around someone when they're in just that it doesn't matter, there's no rhyme or reason, they have a determined goal and they're going to meet it, and you cannot stop them even if you're 300 pounds?
Were you on that 5-hour delayed flight with me and Jillian to Las Vegas?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one.
According to San Francisco police, she was arrested and detained for public intoxication. And we've learned she's also been fired. A post pinned to San Francisco-based fitness app Strava's Instagram account reads in part, "We don't condone violence of any kind, and this does not reflect the standards we expect of our team."
What was she, a PT?
Could be.
As for Marchesi, he says he wasn't injured and appreciates people reaching out to him and his colleagues about the incident.
People who work in hospitality go through a lot. I've been spat on. I've been slapped at a bar before.
Tip your bartenders and waitresses, people.
Can you imagine what happened when he went home from work that night? Hey, honey, how was your day? Well, it was a normal day until I had to pile drive a crazy bitch.
And I think we're done. That's 2025, everybody.
See you next year.